What is up, everybody? Welcome to race number 5 out of 10 for Season 2. Last week we had our first back-to-back winner and first two-time winner of the season with Freebird and Curry Gaming. That truck has been very solid. As you guys can tell today, we do not have the 6-lane highway, but it will be making its return later on in the season. We do have that old starting grid or gate, which is pretty cool. But yeah, today's race, we don't have qualifying. How the races are going to be set up in round 1 are going to be in points. So, we are going to start things off from the bottom half of the points leading to the top. So, the last race of round 1 is going to be Freebird versus Monster Mutt. Now, that's going to be a really good race. It's going to be the third time in 3 weeks that they face each other. But there is the starting grid. We got that new Hot Wheels track builder launch set, which is pretty cool. We got some Hot Wheels tracks, and we also have this awesome orange ramp from the hauler set, which these trucks are going to get some major air, maybe a lot of crashes, a lot of sky wheelies, and of course we got some crush cars as well. But let's get race number 5 underway. And for the first race in race number 5, we got the Fire Megalodon taking on Grandma Gravedigger. So both these trucks are dead last in the points, 31st and 32nd. This should be a good race, though. We're going to work our way down the point system all the way to the top 2 in points. And Grandma Gravedigger has yet to win a race, but it's been very close. Megalodon Fire has been kind of I mean, both these trucks really looking to turn around. This is where they really need a good run, because after this race, I don't know what can happen, but that did look like a close race. Looking back at the camera, as you see, this ramp is going to be very dangerous. It is actually very close, but once again, you have to get all 4 tires past the line first, and it looks like it's going to be Grandma Gravedigger. And next up, we have 2 trucks that have really struggled. Hot Wheels Racing 1, that truck is just, I don't know if it can't find its footing or what's going on with it, or it's just too new of a truck. And Mohawk Zombie, this truck did have some promise and some potential in the beginning of the year, but however, things have really fallen off here. So we're going to see if we can turn it around in race number 5. Remember, this is midway through the season, so if they start struggling in the next couple of weeks, that could be really season over for these guys. So let's see who can take it as they come down the, I guess, the Hot Wheels ramp. But here we go. Looking at the start-finish line camera, both trucks have a massive wheelie, but it looks like it's going to be Hot Wheels Racing number 1 across the line first. Mohawk doesn't even make it fully past the line. Next up, we got El Toro Loco taking on the Zombie Hunter Earthshaker. So El Toro, there's been talks that this truck might be swapped out. We're going to see how it does in this race round number 5, or race number 5. And Earthshaker, that truck had some promise. It did win maybe a couple times, but it's kind of, I don't know, it's not living up to the hype, if you will. But here we go. El Toro taking on Earthshaker. The only trucks that start with E in the whole series, I believe. But here they come down the Hot Wheels ramp, and it looks like they actually collided. I couldn't really tell from that view who won it, as you see these trucks get some major wheelie air, and it looks like it's going to be El Toro, as he does get 1 tire past the line. So it looks like some of these trucks are struggling to get past the line. But here we go with Fire Zombie taking on that split Fire and Ice Gravedigger. So that Fire and Ice Gravedigger had a really good showing last week, and it moved up a little bit in the points. Zombie Fire, on the other hand, just, I don't know, they're talking about maybe swapping this truck out to the original Fire truck. But we'll see what happens, as this is a really challenging track. So depending on how much air you get is really going to affect your run. I saw Gravedigger was a little ahead right there, and I believe Gravedigger did get the win going back over the finish line camera. As you can tell, Zombie just too much speed. Gravedigger slowly past the line, but it gets the job done. And now race number 5 of round 1 of race 5, and it's Snakebite taking on Thrasher. So Snakebite, I really thought this truck would be a lot more competitive. It is one of the best looking customs, I must admit. And Thrasher had a really good showing in week number 1, but the truck has really fallen off a cliff after that. But we're going to see, maybe going back to the starting grid, going back to this track design, it could make up. Maybe, because it was really solid in the first race. As they make their way down the Hot Wheels track, both trucks had nice air right there, but as you saw, Thrasher did look like it took a weird bounce when it landed, and it does. It hits that van and just barely goes over, but Snakebite does grab the victory. And next up, we have Backwards Bob taking on Race Ace. So Backwards Bob has been really struggling to get into the second round, even the third round. And Race Ace has really made a solid turnaround the past couple of weeks. It's been really getting into the second round, almost the third. That truck has been, I don't know, maybe they found something here. So going back to the first track design layout here with the Hot Wheels starting grid and the Hot Wheels track, I don't know, this could be any truck's race. Both these trucks, I don't know. If I had to pick a favorite, I would go with the custom. As you see, it looked like a solid race, but it did look like Race Ace did have him, as he was the first to the ramp, Doesn't get as much air, but a beautiful wheelie across the line, and Race Ace takes it. Next up, we have a really good and interesting race. We got Octanator taking on that Bigfoot truck. And this ramp and that jump, that van down there, that could be really crucial if these trucks don't make it past that van in the crush cars. But this should be a good race, though. Bigfoot's been kind of solid. Octanator was really good the first 3 races, and then it kind of fell off a cliff once again. But Octanator looking to turn things around here midway for the season. That truck has been really competitive, and it is really fast. So let's see how it handles this track layout, as that looked like a very close race going down to the start finish line camera. Both trucks look like they got to the ramp at the same time. That looks like it's going to be Bigfoot. We are going to go to the photo finish here, and Bigfoot does get him, not by much, but does get him with a wheelie past the line. Last race was a really good race, but here we go with Zombie Megalodon taking on Max D. So the Zombie trucks were really competitive last week. They kind of came out of nowhere, and last week they got that momentum and that confidence going. However, Max D is a very tough opponent, so we're going to see if Megalodon can keep this trend going. Maybe they're onto something, but Max D, it's been kind of hit or miss every race with that truck, but that truck is very fast. So we're going to see what happens here. This should be a good race, as the camera is I don't know what happened there. It's a little blurry, a little out of focus. But going on right here, it looks like Max D got to the ramp first. Both trucks land on the van, and we're going to have to go to a photo finish on this one as well. As you look, yep, it's going to be Max D. Wow, that was very close. That left lane has been really dominant so far. But here we go with 2 trucks that have kind of fallen off the pace lately. The Stunt Truck, the original Stunt Truck, and Full Charge. So both these trucks looked very competitive in the first couple of weeks of the season. However, they're kind of mellowed out, kind of struggling here or there, but they should have a good competition race here and a nice competitive race. Full Charge, I love the design on that truck. I also love the Stunt Truck. That truck does have the weight, but so far it's proven this season the weight advantage really doesn't matter, as both trucks hit that pretty nicely. Both trucks get a nice sky wheelie, and it looks like it's going to be a close race as Full Charge goes over, but it is going to be the Stunt Truck. Full Charge, man, that was a weird wreck right there. I don't know if the front axle may have popped or broke, but that was another close race. But once again, that left lane has been really, really solid so far tonight. But, however, another close race. The next race should be even more competitive, as we got Dragonoid taking on Team Mint. So Team Mint was really solid in the beginning, couple races. Dragonoid's been on a nice turnaround as it's been in the semifinals a couple times lately. So that truck has looked to be onto something here. Maybe it just needed to get a couple runs under its belt, maybe a couple wins. But this should be a nice close race. A lot of people love that Dragonoid truck, myself included. However, I'd like to see that retro Team Mint truck as well. So as they make their way down the Hotwheels track, that looked very close. We're going to have to look at the slow motion camera. Both trucks hit the ramp at the same time. Looks like Dragonoids are ahead, and it looks like they basically crossed the line at identical times. We're going to have to go, but as you can tell, the red rim on Dragonoid is ahead of Team Mint's. Next up, we got the Husky Fire going up against the Monster Energy. So Husky Fire had a really good outing, I believe, in week 2 or week 3, and that truck was really competitive. And Monster Energy has been a solid truck to make it at least into near the semis, round 3. So this should be a good race, as Husky's looking to build back some more momentum. That truck really kind of been on a decline out of nowhere, and Monster Energy's just kind of floating around round 3, to be honest. So let's see what's going to happen and who's going to take this, as both trucks hit the ramp. I don't know, that was pretty close. It looked like Husky was definitely way ahead, but got way too much air, and getting hung up on the crush cars is going to cost the Husky Fire truck. As you see right there, Monster Energy sneaks by into the next round. And now we got that beautiful custom Firestone Wilderness going up against the Zombie Gravedigger. So Zombie Gravedigger looking to keep this momentum up. That truck had a really good showing last week, just along with all the other Zombie Invasion trucks and Hunter trucks last week. And Firestone Wilderness, that truck is looking to get back into the semifinals. It had a really good showing in the first week where the body blew off the truck, and they've really made some great repairs to that thing, but it just really hasn't had quite the speed. But here they go. Ooh, that looked very close. Going down to the slow motion camera, it looks like both trucks hit the line at the same, or hit the ramp at the same time. Bounce off the van, and that is very close. So it looks like the graphics department forgot to put the photo finish of the last race in, but it was Firestone, not by much. He did put Zombie Gravedigger on the trailer. Here goes with Son of a Digger Hunter taking on Whoop's Head. So Son of a Digger has been really kind of slacking lately, kind of struggling out of nowhere after dominating the first couple races of the season. Taking on Whoop's Head, who has kind of had a steady, I guess, incline or a steady uphill battle here. That truck has been pretty solid. This should be a good close race. Now Whoop's Head is in the faster lane, I believe. That left lane has been very solid. Both trucks look like they hit the ramp at the same time, land on the van, and barely it's going to be Whoop's Head as Hunter's Son of a Digger does go over. Next up, we got that beautiful flame Bigfoot paint job, which looks amazing. And we also have that Stunt Truck Inverse, which is so far the last Superstore exclusive truck besides the new OCD Meltdown, which comes out April 9th. I can't wait. By the time this video is uploaded, that truck will be out, so please go and get that from the Superstore. But this should be a good race right here. I don't know, Bigfoot Stunt Truck, this is going to be interesting. That left lane has been very solid so far tonight. I don't think a truck has lost in that left lane, to be honest. But could this be the first loss? That looked very close. Wow, Stunt Truck was way ahead. He had way too much speed, and it looks like it's going to be Bigfoot because Stunt Truck had too much speed on the ramp, and it did have a weird angle, and indeed it is Bigfoot. As you see right there, Stunt Truck had it, but just lost it near the finish. So Bigfoot Flame sneaks into the second round. Here we go with Jurassic Attack taking on Salvager. So Salvager has been a really competitive truck. Once again, this truck, just like Son of a Digger Hunter, has been kind of falling off the pace lately. And Jurassic Attack has been really solid to get into the third round, sometimes in the semifinals. I feel like that truck is so close but yet so far. It's just right there. It just can't get over that hump of getting into the final or winning the final. But this should be a good race. Both these trucks are 3rd and 4th in points. That looked very solid. I couldn't really tell who won that, as it looks like Jurassic Attack did get to the ramp first. Both trucks land awkwardly. Ooh, that is going to be a very close finish. I think we might have Jurassic Attack on that one. That is very close, but indeed it is going to be Jurassic Attack. And here we go, guys, with a rematch from the last 2 weeks. This is the 3rd time these trucks are facing. It is Freebird and Monster Mutt. I can't wait to see who's going to win this. Can Monster Mutt finally knock off Freebird? I don't know. It's going to be a very interesting race here. And this is kind of weird to be round 1, but these trucks are so far the most, I guess, the 2 best trucks in the whole series. We got 1st and 2nd in points. Both trucks have a win. Freebird was the first truck to hit 2 wins this season. So as they come down the Hot Wheels ramp, I don't know who it's going to be. Looking at the slow motion camera, it looks like it's going to be Freebird again. Wow. Monster Mutt just cannot beat Freebird, it seems, as Freebird is definitely going to advance into the next round.
Alright, so round 1 is officially in the books now, and we cannot wait to start round 2. We had a couple upsets in round 1. Octanator losing to Bigfoot. Freebird barely beating Monster Mutt. That's the 3rd time in a row that Freebird has actually beat Monster Mutt Ice, so that's kind of interesting right there. Salvager losing to Jurassic Attack. But here we go with round 2, and we have a first-timers with Gravedigger Grandma, or Grandma Gravedigger, and Hot Wheels Racing 1. It's nice to see El Toro up in round 2 as well. It looks like there's going to be a couple good matchups here. Some rematches, but can't wait to see what happens.
Welcome to round number 2, guys, and we're going to kick things off with 2 trucks that have never made it to round 2. But first off, this track has been really brutal on some trucks. We've seen a lot of flipped over so far. The left lane seems to be a little faster than the right, and those ramps, a lot of trucks are getting some sky wheelies and some hard landings. But here they are, the first 2 opponents in round number 2. It is for the first time this season. Both these trucks, they never made it to round 2 yet until now, midway through the season, and it's Grandma Gravedigger taking on Hot Wheels Racing number 1. So both these trucks, I don't know who's going to go the farthest here. I think maybe Gravedigger, that truck does have some speed and it definitely has the weight advantage, but as we saw with the stunt trucks, the weight advantage really doesn't matter this year. Hasn't really been that compelling as both trucks come down the Hot Wheels ramp, and it looked like Gravedigger got to the ramp first. The truck almost does a backflip, and Hot Wheels Racing number 1 does do a sky wheelie, but this time it is going to be Grandma Gravedigger. So that last race was one of the few times that two custom digger diecast trucks went up against each other. But here we go with the split Fire and Ice Gravedigger going up against El Toro. So the split Fire and Ice Gravedigger, that truck was very solid last week. El Toro has been struggling as of lately, and if the Gravedigger truck can win, we can see a Gravedigger versus Gravedigger in round 3, which could be interesting. But El Toro's looking to get some momentum underneath him. That truck might be replaced depending how it does, but here they come. Looks like both trucks hit the ramp at the same time, but it looks like El Toro had some issues over there. Indeed, they do hit the ramp at the same time. El Toro's actually the first truck to the line, but not the first truck past the line. And Gravedigger will face Gravedigger next. So the first race of round 3 is going to be two Gravediggers. That's going to be very exciting. Here we go with the custom Snakebite taking on the custom Race Ace. Now, looking at these two trucks, honestly, Race Ace has had more flawless runs where he just wasn't that quick, but it was a very clean pass. And Snakebite has been all over the place. It's been on fire, it's been flipping, it's been crashing. I don't know. My money's on Race Ace, but I do like Snakebite. And however, I am happy to see that two more customs did make it into round 2 as they come down the ramp. Looks like they hit in the air. Wasn't that bad of a collision, as Race Ace was the first truck to the ramp. Does a nice sky wheelie, and yes, indeed it is going to be Race Ace over Snakebite. Next up is a matchup that many people could consider be a dream matchup here. Bigfoot taking on Max D. Now, we have seen this matchup before. Now, that front engine Bigfoot, that is off a Max D chassis, so this should be an interesting race. However, I would love to see this in real life. This is actually a real kind of dream matchup here. Both these trucks have been pretty solid. I would say the upper hand has been probably Bigfoot on some races, but Max D, you can never count that truck out. Here they come making their way down. Both trucks take a nice sky wheelie, and we're going to have to go down and maybe take a photo finish of this. Both trucks got to the ramp at just about the same time. It looks like from that angle it's going to be Bigfoot, but we are going to look at the photo finish just to make sure as we're looking, and yes, indeed, it is going to be Bigfoot. Not by much, but still Bigfoot. Next up, we got a truck that's really been on kind of a silent roll as of late, and that's Dragonoid. That truck has been pretty solid as the past couple weeks, but Stunt Truck, the truck with the weight advantage, you know, it's kind of hard to not favorite these trucks because they do have that weight, but so far, halfway through the season, none of them have really made it into the finals or anything like that. Dragonoid has been doing really well, so I'm gonna put my money on Dragonoid, even though Dragonoid is in that left lane, but let's see what happens. As Stunt Truck looks like it flipped over, going down to the slow motion camera, both trucks get to the line. Stunt Truck gets a lot of air, but indeed it is going to be Dragonoid once again. I feel like this is the week of the custom trucks. We have a lot of custom trucks making it into round number 2. And here we go with two more. Monster Energy taking on Firestone Wilderness. So this should be a good matchup. Both these trucks, I would probably put them both on like an equal playing field. They seem to have the same amount of speed in their trucks. Even though Firestone did make it to the semifinals a couple times, however, it's been on kind of a decline, and Monster Energy is always flirting around round 3, semifinals, somewhere in that area. So as they come down the lanes here, and both trucks do a nice sky wheelie. Both trucks look like they hit the ramp at the same time, bounce off the van, and without question, it's definitely going to be Monster Energy as both trucks take a wild ride into round 3. And next up, we got the Bigfoot Flames taking on Wolf's Head. This should be another interesting matchup here, as Bigfoot Flames has been kind of under the radar, and Wolf's Head's definitely another truck that's been underneath the radar as well. Both of them are very fast. I would have to say maybe Wolf's Head is a tad quicker, and given that he is in the better lane choice, that could prove to be the difference here. But I don't know, you can never count out a custom truck. It's either they're going to wreck, flip over, or do something crazy. As they come down the ramp, he does flip over, but it looked like it was going to be Wolf's Head, as Wolf's Head is way ahead and definitely gets past the line way before Bigfoot's front tires even do. And for the final race of round number 2, we got the two-time winner and so far the points leader, which is Freebird taking on Jurassic Attack. So these are probably the two fastest trucks left, and Jurassic Attack seems like it's always one of those trucks that gets so close but yet so far, and he's going to have a really hard opponent here if he wants to see round 3. Curry Gaming in Freebird, that truck has been absolutely solid, just not an issue at all the past couple of weeks. Looking to make it 3 in a row as they come down. Ooh, weird run for Freebird right there. As looking at the camera, it looks like Jurassic Attack was a little ahead, but Freebird gets way too much air, and Jurassic Attack is actually going to knock off the points leader and Freebird. Wow. So that was kind of an upset. I was really kind of expecting that to be a lot closer, but wow, I cannot believe that he got eliminated in round 2.
round 2 definitely had a lot of custom trucks. I'm really excited that a lot of custom trucks seem to be liking this course at least. So it's nice to see the customs actually making, most of them made it to round 2. If not, I believe all of them actually did. So round 2 was very interesting. We had Hot Wheels Racing 1 against Grandma Gravedigger. That was very nice to see those 2 trucks there. But now we have some harder competition. We got the first ever dual Gravedigger race. We got Dragonoid facing Monster Energy once again, Race Ace going against Bigfoot, and Whoop's Head against Jurassic Attack. This could really be anyone's week.
Welcome to round number 3, guys, and I just want to say once again the ground crew has been amazing at keeping this track pretty competitive. Round 2 was really competitive. They did some work on the ramps, as you can tell, but these ramps have been very, very brutal today, but the straightaways have been holding up very nicely. But here we go, kicking off round 3, we got 2 Gravediggers. This might be the first time this season where we have 2 different Gravediggers going up against each other. We got the split Fire and Ice Gravedigger taking on that beautiful custom Grandma Gravedigger, and that Grandma Gravedigger has always been in the left lane, and that left lane has been pretty solid tonight. I honestly don't know who to pick. I'm really rooting for Grandma Gravedigger. It's having a great points day so far, but that split paint job Gravedigger, that thing was very solid last week. Hey, they come making their way down, and oof, I don't know about Grandma. Let's see here. As they come into frame, it looks like Split had the advantage, but ooh, there it is. The van cost Grandma Gravedigger. Got hung up on the van. And for the second race, we got Bigfoot going up against Race Ace. So this should be a really good race. I'm kind of hoping Bigfoot wins because it would really be nice to see a Bigfoot versus Gravedigger in a semifinal once again. But Race Ace has been really solid over the past couple of weeks. It seems like every time that truck comes out to race, it gets a little bit better and a little bit better and a little bit better. So he is in the left lane, and that lane has been very solid tonight. So I can't wait to see who wins. As they make their way down, both trucks have a nice sky wheelie. It looked pretty close, but let's see from this angle. It looked like Race Ace did get to the jump first and almost cleared all the cars, but that, without question, is a Race Ace. And the next race, we got Monster Energy taking on Dragonoid. Now, I believe this is not the first time these two are facing each other, but this should be good. Monster Energy and Dragonoid, this is, I would say they're fairly equally matched, and I really love both these trucks. Now, as a custom Monster Energy, that thing has proven to be very solid, always flirting around the third round. So let's see if we can finally crack the semifinals here, and Dragonoid was in the semifinals last week. So as they make their way down, both trucks have a nice sky wheelie, and they do make some contact, but it looks like they both got to the ramp at the same time, and looks like Dragonoid's going to pull out another close victory tonight. And here we are, the final race in round number 3. We got Whoop's Head going up against Jurassic Attack. This should be an interesting matchup because I don't think these two have faced yet at all. And both are pretty competitive. I would give the edge to Jurassic Attack just because that truck seems a little more... It's always so close, but yet so far. But I don't know. We'll see what happens here. Whoop's Head, I like that truck. It's been kind of steady. But Jurassic Attack, it did have an upset today facing Freebird. So let's see what happens here as they make their way down. Both trucks do a wheel stand across the line, but we're going to have to look at this camera here. Both trucks hit the ramp at the same time, and it looks like the van sneaks up on Whoop's Head, and it's going to cost him the victory here.
Round 3 was pretty exciting, and I really love how we had 2 Gravediggers face off. Sadly, Grandma Gravedigger, I was really pulling for that truck, but it did not beat the split paint job Gravedigger. And Race Ace and Bigfoot, that was a pretty close matchup, and Race Ace looks to be onto something here this week. That truck looks very solid. So the semifinals, we have Race Ace going against the split Gravedigger, and then we have Dragonoid taking on Jurassic Attack. So we could have... You know, these trucks have been close. The only one that really hasn't been this far is Race Ace, so this is going to be an interesting semifinal. And here we go with the semifinals. We have the split paint job Fire and Ice Gravedigger taking on Race Ace, which honestly, that truck is a surprise. Now, it is getting better every week, it seems, and the truck seems to be getting faster, but it is a surprise to be here in the semifinals. Gravedigger, again, the split paint job was here last week. Let's see if he can actually make it one step further in getting into the final race. This should be a good race. I don't know who I'm pulling for here. Let's just hope for a good close finish as they make their way down. It looked like Race Ace was a little ahead. Checking the slow motion camera, Race Ace is a lot ahead, but both trucks have a nice solid run. Race Ace going straight to the finals for the first time ever, and there is the photo finish. Race Ace got it. Wow. And who is going to join Race Ace in the final for race number 5? We got Dragonoid and Jurassic Attack. Both these trucks have been to the semifinals once before. Jurassic Attack, it's so close. And last week and the week before, Dragonoid is really starting to pick up here. So honestly, this is anybody's race right here. I would say Jurassic Attack because it is in that left lane, and that left lane has been very solid tonight. But Dragonoid is a really hard opponent. Let's see what happens. It looked like Dragonoid was a little behind coming down the ramp, as Jurassic Attack was the first truck to the ramp. Both trucks go flying through the air, but Dragonoid does a wheelie across the line, and that is actually going to cost him. Very close finish right there, but you can tell Jurassic Attack is a little ahead. And here it is, guys, race number 5, the final. So we got Jurassic Attack finally in the final, and we got a surprise in the final, which is Race Ace. That truck has been really good lately. However, I am a little surprised it is making it into the final. So definitely the underdog here. Jurassic Attack has definitely been very close before, but now he finally has a chance. Let's see who's going to take it here. I honestly don't know who it's going to be, but I have a feeling it's going to be a blue truck, as Race Ace is going to take the favorite lane and Jurassic Attack's going to go into the right lane. And this should really, I honestly don't know. It's so hit or miss. Race Ace, like I said, it's been doing pretty good, and Jurassic Attack always seems to flirt around the 3rd and 4th rounds, but I don't know, it could really be anyone's race. It's going to really determine what truck doesn't get the most air off that jump. So as they make their way down, it looks pretty much even until the final right there, until the jump. Let's see what happened. Looking at the slow motion cam, both trucks look like they got there at the same time, but Jurassic Attack just goes too far in the tailgate, and Race Ace has a perfect launch off that ramp. And looking at the photo finish, it is definitely going to be Race Ace. Don't know what happened with the photo finish there. The picture's kind of all messed up, but it's definitely Race Ace. And here comes your winner for race number 5. It's none other than Race Ace. So this was definitely a surprise win for Race Ace. Definitely well deserved and well needed. This truck has been kind of on a roll lately. I mean, it hasn't really been in the semifinals, but they really found something to turn around a couple of weeks ago, and the truck has been pretty solid ever since. So Race Ace does take up the victory here in race 5, midway through the season, and should have a decent jump in the points. I believe he moves up to about 10th in points. We'll see right after we do the stunt for this week. But nonetheless, a very solid week for Race Ace. Great in the points, finally gets that win, and what better time to do it than midway through the season. But now, let's move on to week number 5's stunt. So here we go at Race Ace in the background, and we have a wall of crushed cars. So this is going to be a very interesting stunt, and it's also going to be a brand new custom truck. Now this truck will be making its debut right here, but it will be in season 3. This truck was just recently made, and I can't wait to unveil it. This thing was pretty cool to make. So here it is as it sits atop of the ramp. This thing is going to be pretty cool. And you guys might say it looks familiar, but it's brand new. On a brand new front engine chassis, there it is, the custom Tiger Shark. So this thing looks really mean, really nice. It's got those orange rims, that front motor. That thing looks really cool, actually. That is really nicely designed right there. And this truck will be making its racing debut in season 3. But right here, it's going to try to jump right through that wall of crushed cars. And let's see if he can do it as he makes his way down the ramp. And the body comes off, but the cars do fall. So it does actually technically make it through the wall of cars. However, the body of the truck did not last too long. Right when he hit the ramp, the body comes flying off. And he didn't hit the cars exactly in the middle, but he did knock it over, and that's all that counts. Now looking at the carnage, there is the whole chassis very nicely painted and designed right there. But Tiger Shark will be making its debut in season 3. Race 5, here it is, the carnage that's left, the Tiger Shark body, the event winner in Race Ace. Great points day, great racing for this week. And hey guys, it's midway through this season, and we got 5 races left. So anything can happen here, as this was definitely an upset and definitely a surprise victory for Race Ace. So anything can happen. We got more cool designs of tracks coming out in the last 5 races, and we're going to jump straight to the points right here. So don't forget to subscribe, don't forget to like the video, and I shall see you guys in week number 6. Once again, congrats to Race Ace.